What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we have my son in the chair, my oldest, and I'm about to get this boy right. Gonna do something a little simple, just a mid-skin fade. He did ask me to put a line design on his head, so I'm just gonna do something really random. And yeah, let's get right into it. He did have quite a bit of gel in his hair from school today, and I honestly didn't wash his hair out. I end up doing it a little later in the video, but for now I just went ahead and wet the hell out of his hair, and I'm just gonna brush it down, see how long the bangs are, because I will be lining him up later, and I'm gonna get him right by starting off with the design. Normally I wouldn't just go in this quick and do the design, but I honestly just did something real simple and ended up swooping it up towards the back. Now that I watched this haircut, I wish I would have added a little more detail to this design itself, but next time for sure. Creating this first guideline with my trimmer still, I'm going to make sure to leave some space right before the design, that way I can go ahead and blend it out really nice, that way it gives that a nice little shadow effect. Now, since I don't have the design on this side to use sort of as a guideline, I'm just gonna go based off memory and do my best to kind of get it angled and shaped just the way it is on the opposite end. Didn't do too good on this side, to be honest with you guys. That's just my opinion. I wish I would have just used like the corner of the blade, kind of how I did on the design, but it's all good, you guys. I get it nice and blended out. Just cleaned my Bronze Series 9 foil shavers right before this cut, and these things were getting the hair down to the skin with ease. I love these things. I say this in almost every video. These things be hitting hard, and I definitely need to get a second pair because they have been on sale for like $150. Using my Ion Extreme clippers with the lever halfway closed, I'm creating that second guideline, tracing around the first one that I made previously, and I'm going to do that right here on this opposite end. Not going to go too thick on this part, as I will be blending it out shortly here in the haircut. Got my Wall Magic clippers with the lever fully closed, and I'm going to blend out that second guideline that I created with my previous clippers. Just to add a touch of detail, I wanted to use the corner of my trimmers and blend that line out just a little bit better. It didn't give me too much trouble. I remember to pull up and stretch on that skin, that way I can get a little better blend. With my Ion Extreme clippers, I did put the number 1 guard with the lever fully closed to blend out that entire dark area right under the design, but it didn't really trim down much, so I switched right back to the Wall Magic clippers with the number 1 guard and the lever fully closed, and it did a much better job. Now with the half guard, I'm going to blend up into this darker number 1 line until I have the lever all the way closed, or until I just can't blend out anymore, and that's when I grab my Ion Extreme clippers, because the open guard sits a little bit bigger than the Wall Magic clippers, and it just allows me to get a nicer blend than if I was to use the Magic clippers themselves. Now I've flipped my trimmers upside down because they do hit really nice right here. They allow me to focus and get a little bit more detail on this line, and I'm just going over it, tracing it, using the corner of the blade, kind of like a pencil, and just tracing it. You will see me just going back and forth between the Magic clips and the Ion Extreme clippers. Each clipper is good at its own type of haircuts it's able to do, and with these Magic clips, they really get down lower than the Ion Extremes do. Moving on to the opposite end, I'm blending out that second part of the guideline with the Wall trimmers, just using the corner of that blade. It blends down really nicely, and unlike the Andy Slimline Pros, it just doesn't bald out that line completely, which is what I like. I kind of want to keep a little shadow right there. So up to now, I've used the number 1 guard with the lever all the way closed, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the half guard. Use the lever up until it's all the way closed, just to get this line nice and blended out. That number 1 guard brought that line down pretty low, but I'm going to finish this line off by using no guard, and the lever is probably almost fully closed with the Magic clippers. There was still some hair to be working with, so I attached that number 1.5 guard probably about halfway closed, and I just started flicking out at the darkest part of the hair. From here I'm just going to start down fading. I'm going to fade that 1.5 guard with the number 1 guard, remembering to brush the hair out the way, this way I can get a nicer blend. And this haircut honestly wasn't too bad. Like, the hair, as you can see, did not give me too much trouble. It was actually blending out pretty smoothly, and my clippers were doing a good job at keeping the blend nice. Usually these Wall Magic clippers will frustrate me during some haircuts that I do on my son, but nah, today they were holding up nicely. So I am just using the corner of the blade still, really focusing on just that bottom portion of the line. I'm not trying to push this haircut up any higher than what it already is. I do want to keep this side somewhat dark, just like the opposite end. It's quite dark above the design line, so I just wanted to keep it like somewhat even though this side is a little more blended higher than the opposite end. I think it still fitted quite well. I'm just blending out some of this darker hair towards the top of his head using scissor over comb. Moving to the back part of his hair, I'm just going to do the same thing I've been doing from the side view, and that's to blend out this bottom portion of the line using my Wall Magic clippers. So sorry about the lighting, you guys. Not too sure why it was doing this on this video. Everything was right with my ring light, but for some reason when I would get in the way, it would just turn this orange hue color. Not too sure why, but I'm pretty sure it goes away here soon. Attached is the number 1 guard. You guys can see I did leave a pretty dark portion of that line around the back of his head and quite a bit right there on the side, but I'm gonna go ahead and just start blending that out together, make it look nice and even with one another. So I am gonna keep the back kind of dropped a little bit how you see it right now. What I wish I would have done, which I noticed like after this haircut, is just push it up a little bit higher with the sides right here. That way it matched just a little bit better, but not too sure why I didn't do that. During the haircut it looked really good, so I guess that's why I made that decision. But it's crazy when you watch videos after, if you guys don't record yourself, you really notice like quite a few of your mistakes. But I mean, what barber doesn't, you know? Now he did have quite a bit of little bulkiness towards the back top portion of his head, and it's going to be a cowlick if I don't trim it down. So I'm just doing a little bit of scissor over comb and gonna start blending out the rest of that bottom portion of the line. I believe that's with the number 1 guard. Just doing a little bit of detail work because I noticed I could still see that line quite harshly. When I used the thinning shears over comb with that top portion right there, it didn't really break it down as much as I would have liked it, so I just started blending it a little bit with the 1.5 guard and doing a little bit of detail work with the Andy Slimline Pros. Just cutting up any hair that's left around the design area and just around his hair. Got a lot of baby hairs cut down that you guys really couldn't see. Got these Andy Slimline Pros out and gonna just start hitting the front of his lineup. He had quite a bit of hair that I was just cleaning up. I go back and forth to his lineup, you guys, multiple times throughout this. I finished that part and I'm like, yo, I need to blend this down more with the thinning shears. Hair's just looking crazy overlapping on the side. So that's what you see me doing right here. Going right back at it with the lineup work once again. You guys are going to see me just going back and forth, back and forth. I am brushing the hair down after each time I do this, just because his hair likes to curl up in the front. Just feel that it's better for me to do it this way. Got the number 4 guard. Gonna cut down some of that bulkiness on top. Not gonna go against the grain, just using it towards the back portion, and gonna go with the grain of his hair with the lever all the way closed, just to trim it down a little bit more, get it nice and even. You guys can see a lot of those baby hairs sticking up right there, but I don't trim them down too much because I know once I put gel in his hair, he showers and we wash it, it's gonna look a little bit different. Time to finish this haircut up with cleaning up his lineup and design area. So using that Tomb 45 shave gel, love the smell, love the way it goes on. If it does happen to dry up, you just add a little bit of water to your fingertips and dab on the area that you need to like re-moisten, and it feels just as if you added a fresh batch on there. This part of his side area is very light towards the top part, and I'm not pushing it like too far in. You can't really see it. I wish I had some enhancement, but it looks really good. Got the C-cup area clean, stretching and pulling down on the front part of his skin so I can clean that front line up, and doing it right here on the opposite end as well. So this next part coming up, I'm gonna dust him off, and then I decided I wanted to attach his design like a little bit towards like on the eyebrow area, and this is the part you guys are gonna see right here. Okay.
Come on, eyebrow. Huh.
Just trust me. Yo, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was just something fun. I've never done it before. I grabbed a straight razor, put a little bit of shave gel on that, and cleaned it up nicely. I hope you guys enjoyed this haircut. I hope it didn't feel too rushed when I was talking, but I did edit these clips, I guess, too shortly. But hope y'all enjoyed it, man. It's been a while since I posted, but y'all have a wonderful rest of your week, and stay blessed. Peace.